So I ran some errands yesterday, and whenever I put my top up, I noticed I had a problem. Um, I noticed the seal here had given way here. So I noticed a few days ago it was looking sort of like this, and didn't think much of it. But I guess the heat down here in Alabama has weakened it enough so that, with the tension that's on the top, it finally pulled loose. So after reading on the Miata.net forums and other places, I learned that I could use some marine adhesive to put it back together. So I'm going to give that a shot. So I went to Lowe's and bought some of this Loctite stuff. And the guy that helped me out there also recommended to get some bar magnets and use that to hold it together. Put one on the inside and one on the outside to apply some pressure on it. And I really don't want to have to take the top off this thing to do this. And with the top up like this, you really can't get enough slack here to get the overlap like it needs to be. So I noticed that if I just put the top down just a little bit and just sort of balance it here, it does actually overlap enough, I think. So what I'm going to try to do is put something behind it to hold it in place. So what I got is this piece of foam. It's a little bit thick here. Oops. And I got a small piece of a 2x4. And from the inside, I'm just going to slip the 2x4 under here, something like this, and get this foamy stuff, put it under there. And what I'm trying to do is get a little base that I can have a little force behind, and so I can push a little bit harder. Let's see how I have it sort of jammed in there like that. And let me scoot it over a little bit. And really, I'm just using the 2x4 to hold that in place and maybe get a little more height on it if I need to. So back here on the outside, now it looks like I can probably get things in place like I need to get it to hold. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I've got some rubbing alcohol. I'm just going to try to clean it up. It's hard to tell, but I don't really see anything really that's here that might cause a problem. I mean, I know there's adhesive there or something there. So I'm going to work on that first, and then I'll come back and see what happens next. Okay, so I opened up this Loctite sealant adhesive stuff, and it didn't say on there what color it cured to and all that. So when I cut the tip off of it and looked, I noticed it was white. So I squirted some out here, and decided I probably shouldn't use that on this black top. So I decided to go with something else. I went to O'Reilly and asked them what they would recommend. They recommended this. I hope they're right. Important thing is the strength and that it dries black. I'm hoping that it works good with the different materials that I'm dealing with here. So I'm going to give that a shot. Alright, so I mixed up the epoxy and had my son on the inside sort of holding things in place while I dabbed it on there. And then what I've got, I put some wax paper around these magnets. I don't know if this is going to work like I want it to or not, but what I was thinking was I did not want the magnets to get stuck on here. So we'll see if the wax paper keeps that from happening. But we've got these six ceramic magnets. So we have 3 on the inside and then 3 on the outside to sort of hold things in place. So you can see there's a little bit of a gap here where I didn't quite get the epoxy all the way across here, but looks like it's, let's see, let's zoom in here. Looks like it's not too bad here. It's holding, and then on this side, let's push that down a little more. Raise this up. other side. It's coming out quite a bit there. Alright, so I'm just going to leave it now for a few hours and just come back and check on it, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so it's been a couple of hours since I did this, and I went ahead and pulled off the magnets and the wax paper, and it's not real pretty. You can see where some of the epoxy came out, squished out from there. I don't know, some of it might be able to be cleaned up, but I'll be fine just leaving it, I guess. So I think it'll hold. We'll see whenever I get it out in the sun and put the top up, and it has a little tension on it too. I did have a little bit of the epoxy that got up here. Probably be able to scrape that off at some point. So overall, it's not great, but it's better than having a big gap there.